You might wonder how the studies for natural treatments or the natural reversing of disease processes happens. And the funding for those studies happens via the NIH or the National Institute of Health. So it's federal funding to the NIH, and then they fund those studies. Because, like you can imagine, most of the studies in the United States get funded by pharmaceutical companies or device companies because they have money to be made off of pharmaceuticals and devices. But things like, a study on what type of exercise best helps prevent heart disease, that's not there's not money for a pharmaceutical company to make off of that, and so that gets funded by the NIH, those types of studies, and so that's funding through the federal government. And within the NIH, they have a lot of departments, like they have a center for complementary health, integrative health, botanicals, natural products, dietary supplements. There's a lot of different divisions with NIH that do all these different studies looking at natural treatments or natural ways to reverse disease processes. But we only get as many studies, related to how much funding they have, because they're funding obviously a lot of different studies for a lot of different disease processes or conditions. But that's how these studies get funded. And, because there's not a lot of money to be made to naturally reverse the disease process, it's in most countries, in most developed countries, it's either the federal government is funding it or they're not.